Good morning, folks. It's Josh here. I hope you're doing well. I thought I would have a quick run through the Goodwood card. Yep, I've said it again, a quick run through. The aim, well, before I go into that, a quick word on yesterday, which was rather good fun. Without doubt, probably the best day for winners finding at the members post. I have that in front of you there. Um, Free forum winning. Well, there were 35 possible bets on the members post, um, and there were 10 winners, which was quite good, as you can see there. Free forum winning for the elite squad on the flat, which is the number one advised strategy. Really, that's been flying along and is close to going through, or has gone through 50 points profit. Yes, this winner would have put it through 50 points in just about 5 weeks, so that's doing well. To 1 point level stakes bets. Also doing okay at Betfair starting price as well. Not quite as good, but nothing to be sniffed at around 40 odd points. So that was a good win there for free forum. What else? Nothing at Beverley, a second for King of the Celts. The summer jumping went well. Inkmaster didn't run too well. Scoop the Pot won. Backed in from sevens. There was a 25 4, so 5.25 into 3-1. Ginger Fizz made all at age 10. Gallant performance from the mare. Creevy Tennant for the elite squad for the jumps, which weren't doing as well as the flat, but have just started to find their feet. All the logic is the same on that front, so they should do okay. So they're kind of systems, and hopefully a few members backed, hopefully everyone backed the elite squad at Yarmouth and would have had at least one win out of the 10. Yeah, Perth went well. Johnny Go also won at 8-1 into 10-3. He was well backed. The rain helped both of those wins, I think, at Perth. Then we went on to the kind of added stuff, the big meeting notes that I like to look at. Glorious, Goodwood and Galway. Galway didn't do too well on day one, in fairness. Although did find a 33-1 winner for Willie Mullins that I know some people backed. His runners that are sent off 5-1 or shorter are a big positive, and Ribbon Light yesterday proved that yet again. I know from a few messages on Twitter that I think some of you went quite hard on him, so well done there. So that was that. Hogan had a few run well, most of his run well actually. Goodwood day one. Stouts, really positive stats for those at 72 or shorter. Expert heads absolutely dossed up. Stradivarius won for Johnny G. None of Hannon's qualified in the 410. Rebel Streak ran a decent race. Dark Shot didn't. One of the members went off to Beverley. I recorded a short little video with some thoughts. That went okay. Willan was well punted in. I thought he was going to win. He led for most of the way by the dying strides, but 15-2 into 9-4. That wasn't a really race to go mad in, but those two are still running. That was a race to pass. I think the favourite won that. Win for Power ran with credit at 16-1. Defied quite a drift. Those two in the 420 didn't run well. Neither did the 455. Polar Forest won, and Indian Chief won as expected. A rare winning favourite for me there, putting up there having gone through the card. So there were 10 winners on that front, and we had the pain of my stats and trends for the 150 at Goodwood found dark red. If you backed him online, you would have won with an online firm, not Betfair SP. Or if you backed him in the street, you wouldn't have won. So he won't be declared as an official winner, but I know most of you had a go from a main shortlist of 3 with a couple of others. So a shortlist of 5 found the 18-1 winner, who was then booted out. So at least they're still working well enough, and we will see what's going to happen today. Anyway, the point of this video, having done a kind of 4-minute intro, is to have a look at Goodwood. I should say, if you're watching this and you aren't a member, you can always take a 21-day free trial. There's a link to the right. There's probably a link below this video just because I'll put it in because I've said so now. And you know, welcome. You're always welcome to come and join the Racing to Profit members community. But we are here to hopefully show you something of interest, which is Goodwood. Now, importantly, they are due a lot of rain from late morning all the way through. No one really knows when it's going to arrive. I think it's best saying that. What is it best saying? Let's go good to soft to start with. I'm going to focus on qualifiers from my members stats plus qualifiers from the Goodwood notes, with a quick aim to look at trainers in form, horses that jump out on the instant expert tab, speed rating and pace. This will be quick. I'm not going to go loads in depth, although I always say that. So Star Rider, the first thing to note, is a qualifier against my Goodwood stats pack, mainly because the trainer's record here in this type of handicap 3-year-old plus, I think, although my memory defeats me. Star Rider won the race last year. If they do get a good band of rain, it's good to soft and soft. Star Rider clearly stands out. The only one with winning form over the distance. Plenty in here haven't tried it and may well improve for stepping up. That isn't beyond the realms of possibility. But as a solid each way bet, Star Rider at 10s could well be it. You would think that, so I'm just checking if, yeah, you'd think she might bump into something that's more progressive, but the ability to stay this trip, or more in hand, I should say, the ability to stay this trip can make handicap marks look irrelevant, to be blunt, because if something in hand doesn't stay, doesn't really matter how much it's got in hand, it's not going to stay. If the caveat, the race is run at a true pace. Stamina is stamina. That's my view anyway. So Star Rider looks interesting. A been there and done it horse. You would think this has probably been the plan, hasn't it? Canny old Hughie Morrison. His horses are going okay as well. 33% winning or placing isn't too shabby. At least they're not out of form. So yeah, Star Rider looks solid. Aurora Grey is also for Hughie Morrison. SDS on board, qualifies against my stats, stepping up in down in trip. Up in trip. Yeah, this is 20 furlongs. So that's hitting the theory. Is the horse doing something different? Yes. 0 from 8 on turf. Let's just have a look through. Hasn't raced at 20 furlongs before, and the ground is clearly an unknown, especially if it's soggy by this point. But who knows? It's an unknown. I can't say Aurora Grey will not get soft ground. I like the fact that she is stepping up in distance for Hughie Morrison, doing something different. 11 to 1, probably a bet. I'll probably have a nibble. Cool Sky for Ian Williams, an older horse, 8-year-old. I'm automatically a bit put off. He's definitely been there and done it. Is he good enough at this level? He's been mixing all sorts. Does he stand out on anything? Good to soft to soft. Cool Sky, I should say, qualifies against my Ian Williams stats for the track for some particular angle. Not particularly jumping out at me. 4 runs in Class 2. So that's that. Pace I want to have a look at. There are 4 decent front runners in this who really like to get on with it. Maybe Twisters will probably try and forge to the head. They may cut each other's throats or they'll get into rhythm, but this shouldn't be a dawdle. So you are going to have to stay this trip, I think. You're going to have to see out every yard. It isn't like a 7-5-7 runner race where you can just slow pace at the front and then kick and maybe get away with not actually staying, which can happen in small fields. But as I said, in big fields where there's a lot of pace, linked to kind of handicap mark, if you've got £10 in hand, doesn't really matter if you don't stay 20 furlongs because this will be properly run. So the 2 Morrison horses are well drawn at least. They should be able to get a position. It's then whether or not they're going to be able to get out. It wouldn't surprise me today at Goodwood if you get a lot of winners swooping wide down the outside, which is where you may want to be if it really gets soggy. So I wouldn't necessarily be put off by draw. Going further, racing further, going wide, may not be a bad thing if those on the inside are racing through the slop, for want of a, is that an American phrase? who knows? But if it does get wet, the inside will probably get churned up quite a bit. That's where most of the horses will run on, and I just think jockeys will be searching for better ground. So for me, Star Rider looks solid. Aurora Grey looks exciting. They also both come out quite well on the speed ratings. There's some who don't come out quite so well. So that's interesting. That's the 150. Let's move on. There's not much now before. I'm just having a look. Ah, yes, I've got some Mark Johnston. The Johnston horses in this are qualifiers against my big meeting stats. These are his first qualifiers of the week. They normally do well. This meeting hasn't been run on soft during the period that I did the studying of the stats. So we are all guessing a bit. It probably will be getting soft by now if the rain comes in. And rarely for a Mark Johnston horse, we have Sophia's Rock has won on good to soft ground and over the distance. Anything else standing out here? Brimham Rocks got good form on soft. There's a few here that have never raced on a softer surface, it seems. Londinium's also for Johnston. He hasn't raced on soft. Sorry, he has, and hasn't placed. We've got Sophia's Rock. Mark Johnston is in form at least. His are going well. He, like a few big trainers, fires plenty of darts, but quite a few hitting the board. I'm still on my third cup of coffee. Actually, I'm going to pause while I have a top up. I'll be back. All right, sorry, back. Just filled up the coffee mug. What was I saying? Yeah, Johnston's in form. Sophia's Rock, probably worth a bet. Seven's okay. I probably personally wouldn't want to go shorter than that, but hopefully he wins. You can see there that the Team Godolphin, both been Sir and specifically Charlie Appleby, are in good form in terms of the win percentage. They're actually performing below market expectations, which suggests quite a few are getting punted, but way above kind of if it was just chance, the impact value. He does like a decent priced handicap winner, so it'll be interesting to see how they go. He's got a few darts. I never know what I think about trainers firing more than two runners at a big race. It kind of suggests they don't know what to think and they're kind of crossing their fingers and hoping for the best, possibly. We've got Hochfeld in here, which I don't think he actually qualifies against any of my stats or angles, and we know what happens now. He's probably going to be the only one who wins. At least he has run with cut. He was dire at Hamilton. I'm not sure what went on there. If he had too many runs in a short space of time, or he didn't like the hill, which is possible, given his form was on flat tracks around Chester, really. So interesting, but questions. The other one, Londinium, these are obviously 3-year-olds. It's an open race, not one to go mad on. Having said that he didn't have form on good to soft, it is pleasing for my eyes to see that he won his maiden on heavy. That may have been because he just outclassed him and he actually doesn't like heavy ground, but he might get through it. Johnson horses here, sometimes it's best not to get hung up on form, really. He is a qualifier on my stats, and Johnson and Fanning do well here. So I will probably be backing the two Johnson horses for interest and hoping that micro angle gets off to a flying start. We should have a look at pace. Sophia's Rock is going to bomb out and try and make all. Although Ryan Moore isn't one to be ultra aggressive, I suspect if something else goes past him, he might just track. Depends what his instructions are, but he'll be up there in the right place. So will Hochfield. They may all go too fast and set it up for Londinium, which might be quite good fun. So that's that. Speed ratings onto victories, top rated. There's a few closely matched, but there we go. Let's move on to the 3 o'clock, and we're going to rattle through some group races here because I generally don't have much interest in these. From a betting perspective, I like watching them and enjoy seeing a class performance, as we saw with Stoutley's winner yesterday. What should I highlight of interest for you? Well, Aidan O'Brien's horses are going well. 9 from 35, 18 places. Not too shabby. Carl Burke's horses are going well. 8 from 36, 14 places. That's decent. That horse is 4-1 though. Cody Time Clocks is going well. I mean, this is a 2-year-old race. It might just be best to go with the speed ratings, what the horses have done on the clock. And if we take the top rated there, Sound and Silence, trainers in form. Is this market in a reaction to that last run? Possibly. He drops back to 5 furlongs. Ground is an unknown, as it probably is for most of these. So that's interesting. Havana Grey's up there. James Tate is up there as well. We've got Wesley Ward's Happy Like a Fool. Have any of these won on good to soft ground? By 3 o'clock it might actually be soft. And Dinar is the only one that has run on it really and placed or won. So if you took a simplistic view about horses guaranteed to get the ground, you'd say Dinar. But having said that, this race is probably more about class. You've got a load of horses that actually haven't run on soft or worse, or good to soft or worse. So you're guessing. I would say this is a race not to go mad in, but hopefully you may have picked up something from there. And if your pin lands on the winner, congratulations. What have we got here? The Sussex Stakes. This is about class, isn't it? Really. Churchill, Ribchester. You would think one of those two is winning. Is there anything at a price? Let's say it's going to be proper squelchy by 3:30. Here Comes When is 2 from 5 on heavy, 4 from 5, or softer heavy, I should say. Ribchester's fine. Churchill might have that as a question, at least. I mean, but he's placed on it. If you wanted some fun, having looked at that, you could have a cheeky each way little tickle on Here Comes When, maybe at 80-1, on the off chance that we, well, hopefully there's no more than one non-runner. We're all guessing a bit here, but these Baldings are going okay. They ran okay yesterday, and you just never know. Maybe Here Comes When will grab third at 80-1, but I'm not going to spend any more time on that race. Maiden Fillies, my goodness, God help us all. I'm just going to look at first start. Actually, while I'm here, let's have a look at one of these superb GG's reports. How am I doing for time? 17 minutes. We're going to wrap this up within 20, possibly. Let's have a look at course. Wins, I want. First time out, 2-year-olds. Well, you can see there, away from Goodwood. Richard Fire, he actually, this horse qualifies on my red car trainer stats. He is, Tony Hamilton's on another one that's experienced, and this one looks a bit weak in the market, but those stats you probably just back them, to be honest. Johnston's 2 from 19. Anyone else at Goodwood? Ed Dunlop has sent 1, but that's in a later race. What race are we on? Oh no, we're on the 4:10. So Dunlop has had 1 2-year-old first time out here, and he did place. So Teenage Gal at 33-1, if you maybe wanted an each way interest, I wouldn't go mad in this race. Who knows? Small stats, obviously, but Dunlop wouldn't be known for first time out 2-year-old winners. So interesting that he might send the odd one here. And we know from yesterday that his horses are going well. Michael Bell is 0 from 5 0 places. Balding 0 from 7. So not too much there. So yeah, that's that. So Dunlop's for a price, maybe, stall 1, guessing on all fronts. But yeah, see, he's only 3 from 101 with first time out 2-year-olds. Like we said, 1 did place here. So there's nothing else here. You may just want to go with the trainer in form. Tregoning's in form, second starters. So horse having a second start, only 4 from 33. Brian Meehan, second start, bit better, 9 from 63, 16 places. His horses are going well, and he actually does okay at the track. So 11-4 though, a bit short for me in a race like this, but I'm a rubbish judge at that end of the market. He may well hack up, and that might be a good bet. Like we said, Michael Bell's in form, but not a great record with precocious types. Johnston's in form, and he is due some winners, having not had many runners on day 1, so who knows. So a few options there. We can go with speed ratings. There's 2 here which stand out, the Brian Meehan horse and David Ellsworth's. They're top of the tree. And Ellsworth is okay with second starters, 33, 5 of 1, 50% of placed pretty much, 1 or placed. and the pound on each would have won 26. So he has some decent priced winners. So maybe as a slightly bigger priced each way bet, Lady Dance a Lot may be of interest. So there's some options there. That's not a race I would go mad in personally. A £2 at Betfair starting price tickle on Ed Dunlop might be where some of my change goes. Oh, I should highlight Lamia for Richard Hannon, who has a very good record at this course with horses that are sent off 9-2 or shorter, and I mean very good. So if when the money's down, it's down here. So actually, Lamia could be of good interest just based on the trainer record. Lady Dancer was a possible each way selection, and a rag to put some change on Teenage Gal at Betfair starting price, hoping that he isn't punted in or take a price. But I wouldn't go mad on that race. Let's swiftly move on. There's plenty of Johnston horses here. By this time, the race could be properly soft to heavy, anything with form here, indulged and turning the table. We've got plenty of horses that have never run on soft, never run on heavy. We are guessing a bit. Oh, interestingly, Johnston, one of his qualifiers, both on my main Goodwood guide and my Goodwood stats, we can see there Mistime has placed on soft to heavy ground, rare for a Johnston runner. I'm probably going to throw some change at the decent price ones here. Well, they're all pretty much a good price. And fingers crossed, Mark Johnston may take this race. Fivers thrown around like confetti yet again. Looking at form and indulging in form too much isn't for me at these big meetings. I've said that before. I go on trainer behaviour. Generally cross my fingers, hope for the best. Awesome kind of stats and trends the way in. Form analysis can be futile in races and meetings such as this. Well, for me anyway, that's probably because I'm not any good at it. I'm okay, but you get my point. So we've got TT McPhee, where else? Johnston missed time. Oh, 389 days. I'm sure he had a winner here before that returned after an almighty layoff. They don't run horses here for the sake of it. I suspect Miss Time might be ready to roll. And at 18-1, I'll take the price. And if this gets a proper slop, being low weight on your back, maybe no bad thing. I should think this horse won't handle the ground. Let's have a look. Good to firm. Only been run on good to firm. Maybe they'll pull her out. But like I said before, never actually run on soft or heavy. And you do not know until they try it. And just having a lightweight might actually benefit. So, and they're big prices. They're Mark Johnston horses. They qualify on the stats. I'm not going to overthink too much. If Michael Stouts gets backed into 72 or shorter, that is one to note, but might run well anyway. Is there anything else I want to say? Speed ratings, turning the tables, decent. The other Johnston horses up there. What did I say about ground? Who gets it? Mistime did. The only ones with winning are indulged and turning the table. So you might just want to say proven form on the ground. At least indulged has proven form over the distance as well. So if you want to ignore the Johnston runners, you might want to have a look at him. A bit closer detail, turning the table, a bit closer detail. Let's have a look at pace. Is anything going to be able to get an easy lead? Billiston Bess might set this up. You never know, might get away and stay there. Probably not. Mistime will be up there. Johnston likes them racing prominently. TT McPhee from the low draw. You'd have thought Doyle will be keen to get a position. So it's not bundles. I'm not sure you definitely want to be held up too far back in this race. Maybe Mistime and TT McPhee will just dominate from the front, and Mistime will power away in the closing stages. That's that race. We go on to the final handicap here, and there's no Johnston horses in this. Are there? Nope. Let's just do. There's a couple of Boy in the Bar, Pastoral Player qualifying some trainer stats, but I think they have some questions. He's 10. Anyway, let's just look at the profile, shall we? We're going to have soft to start with. Who's got winning form on soft? Medburn Dream, although class is a question. Has he won at class 2? Yes, so he has. So while being 0 from whatever he was in class 3, he has got a class 2 win to his name. What else? Not a distance though. Ground and distance. Anything? There's nothing ticking both boxes. Goring. Let's go soft to heavy. Um, I'm looking for green really. Medieval. Uh, £12 below last winning mark. This is not a race I will be going mad on and may not be betting in at all. Looks quite competitive. You do not need to bet for the sake of betting if it is just heavy by this time. Are there any horses that definitely get heavy? Well, there's two with winning form on heavy. Sinfrey so if the rain has really set in by this point, Sinfrey and the Warrior. Maybe it's just that simple. I mean, he's got questions over plenty of things, the Warrior. Or you go three place. So Sinfrey the Warrior, and Goring are all those that have won or placed on heavy. Plenty have never tried it. Plenty might actually relish it. Who knows? Do what you wish with that information. Let's have a look at pace. Can we find a pace way in? Easy Tiger, Maydall stayed on. Smith, I mean, they're drawn wide, but he might be up there. Medburn Dream might be up there. So those three from a pace angle, you might just decide to focus on those that might be near the front and might just keep galloping through the slop. It might be pretty hard to come from behind at this time if those near the front get the pace okay. If we can, is Kai on the speed figures. Might be a shock. 20 to 1. He might be up there. I'm not sure if he likes this ground, does he? And he has a big weight. But anyway, right, I'm going to leave that there. Hope you found that of interest. My focus will be on the likes of Star Rider and Aurora Grey in race 1. Mark Johnston's horses in the 225 and the 445 generally. There was a few other bits and pieces that jumped out there. But yes, do what you will with that information. I'm going to leave that there, one of these shorter videos. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you found that of interest. And until the next time, this is Josh saying bye for now.